Hello again, fellow patriots. Today's topic might be distasteful for some of you, so if you have a tender stomach, you may not want to be eating while you're listening. That being said, if you're still here, okay. Just killed a bug. That wasn't the topic, really. Today, I'm going to talk about Pooh Pooh. Yes, Pooh Pooh. You know what that stuff is, don't you? That's that little present a baby will leave in his diaper for you. Well, have you ever noticed that a baby who has a strictly milk diet will have a somewhat light colored Pooh Pooh? Whereas you get an older child who's eating fruits and vegetables and meat will likely have a a darker color of Pooh Pooh. But Pooh Pooh is Pooh Pooh. Both of them, whether they're light or they're dark in color because of their diet, they're going to stink. Now, suppose you go into a large maternity ward in the hospital. You'll probably find babies of various races. One thing they all have in common is they produce Pooh Pooh. Now, you take the Pooh Pooh from a black child, I don't think it's going to smell any worse than Pooh Pooh from a white child, or vice versa. So the color of your skin, as far as I know, has no effect on the smell of your Pooh Pooh. Now, why am I being an idiot and talking about Pooh Pooh and taking up your time? Well, different kind of Pooh Pooh to talk about right now. Lately there's this big thing in politics and Congress, different officials. They want to say that whenever a white person disagrees with Obama, it's because he's black. Duh. Well, you never hear that if a person, a Democrat in Congress, does not agree with the president. There's no one raising the race issue at that point. Today I heard on TV former President Jimmy Carter. I think he needs to take his medicines. Anyways, he was explaining to some detail of why the people who disagree with the president are doing it because he's black. And then we have other people in Congress doing the same thing. One person, he's talking about, got to start worrying about the KKK coming back, putting on their robes and such. Now, let's get our heads together. I don't care what color Obama is. I'm going to criticize him because I disagree with his policies. It doesn't matter to me what color Charlie Rangel's skin is. I still feel that he has a few things to straighten up concerning his finances, taxes, and so forth, and I think he needs to be shut out of office. Now, Nancy Pelosi, the Wicked Witch of the West, she's a white lady, I think. Now, I don't care for her politics. Calling people who come to the tea parties and the rallies, calling them Nazis and AstroTurf. There are various others in Congress right now who are pulling this kind of garbage. And also on another state level, or what you call necessarily, but good old John Murtha. he's got a bunch of scandals going on. I saw on the internet before I got started, he had a list of about a dozen or so the most troublesome or scandalous people right now in Congress. So you see, when the people, we the people, disagree with any politician, no matter what his or her rank is, the color of the skin is not the issue. It's the color of what's inside the heart and the mind, and what's on their hands also. If they're trying to bring our nation down, I will comment about that. I will make statements to the best of my knowledge. I have not been proven wrong, and I believe in the coming days we're going to see a lot of people having to, how should I say, fess up, admit they've done wrong, try to make things right. Recently you've been watching Fox or watching the internet, talk radio, you hear about it. If you're just watching to ABC, NBC, CBS, etc., you're probably not hearing about this recent Acorn scandal. If you're not a Fox watcher, I'd advise you go ahead and watch and get caught up on this Acorn scandal. Because of recent scandals, the IRS, or I should say the census people, have decided not to let them take part in the census gathering. Also, there are various legislators that are working on having Acorn investigated. The other day they had a vote about some funding to Acorn, of which the majority voted to turn down the spending, but about 7 people decided we should continue spending the money, regardless of what's being shown. Burris from Illinois was one of those. He was the only black man, I think, of the group. As far as I recall, the other 6 were all white people. And of course it makes you wonder, in light of being told of corruption in Acorn, that they would still vote to keep Acorn funding. There's an old saying about a nut not falling too far from the tree, however it goes. So I wouldn't be too surprised if eventually we'd find out that those 7 people had very close relationship with Acorn, or else they wanted to make sure that they didn't get in trouble with their big boss. You know what I mean, Vern? Anyways, enough poo-poo for the night. God bless America.